So basically, you and I, we are in a 3D world. That's why we have matter, which means we can see things and we can hold objects, right? So we have material things that we can touch, feel, and sense. The next dimension, the 4D dimension, is a little different dimension. So there are beings in so many dimensions. Okay, so many. There's a 4D, which is a 4 dimension. There's 5D. There's 6D, 7D. So far, that's all I know. I have learned that there are 7 dimensions, or probably even more. Who knows? But that's what most spiritualists, mediums know about. When a person passes away, depending on their karma, it depends where they're gonna go. If they have a lot of attachment to this world, which means they are so madly in love with you that when they leave, they will never leave the Earth planet. They will stay in the 3D dimension, which means they're stuck, okay? If they have a lot of attachment to the house, or they have attachment to their workplace, or attachment to money, or then they're gonna suffer. That spirit does not travel. It does not transcend. It stays connected to the earth plane. Okay, when it's staying connected to the earth plane, it will typically make their family members or whomever they're attached to, they will keep visiting again and again and again. When they keep visiting, the family member who's alive will sense them, will feel them. Sometimes they will get dreams about them. Sometimes they will see that their objects are moving. So, there are a lot of things that could happen. There is something that happens in the physical world that we can see or sense, that someone from the other plane, which means the person who was attached to, let's say, you or anybody, they will keep coming back again and again and again until their attachment is gone, and typically it does not go away. We have to do a lot of work for it to go away. So that's the first part. So it depends on whoever died, what was his or her attachment. Was she so attached, or was he so attached that he's still here? That is, if he's here, he's in 1 dimension. He cannot see other people, or he cannot see the other people who passed away. Now, here's one example. They're still connected to earth plane. Okay, so they will always be around. They're just roaming around the earth. But we just cannot see them. But they can see us. Okay, that's example number 1. Second example. A person who have no attachment to the world died. And when they die, they transcend. When they transcend, they are on different dimension. Whichever dimension they are on, they have the ability to come back to the earth if needed. If needed. Only if they have to give you a message for your evolution or for your transformation. They'll come, give you a message, they'll leave. Because they can do traveling back and forth. Earth plane to their dimension, earth plane back to their dimension. If they are their karma, which means in their life, if they did very good things, they did good deeds, they were very good, they were praying a lot, they were meditating a lot, they helped a lot of people, so they have all goodness in them during this lifetime that they lived. If they lived this lifetime without any attachment, without any selfishness that they did in their life, no anger, they didn't show lust, they didn't show any of those bad behaviors, then they go on a different dimension. It's called, they are where all the heavenly beings are. All the heavenly beings, especially a lot of gods and goddesses are there. Okay? So it all depends where they go. I don't know, you don't know where they go, but it all depends on what their karma was. So out of the people that have passed away in your family, we don't know which dimension they're in. Only they know. We don't know. We can find out through meditation. Question for you, right? Mm-hmm. Since they passed away, you said you never sensed them. You never did.
Yeah. No,
right?
I never dreamt of them.
You never dreamt. Yeah. Perfect. Did you ever sense any weird presence in the house?
No.
Good. Did you ever feel in this house where you live that certain objects are just missing?
No.
Good. I don't think they're stuck.
I see.
I think they have already traveled. Because typically, if they are stuck, from the moment they die, from that time until, let's say, it's been a couple of months now, right? That they passed away.
Yes.
You would be sensing them a lot.
Oh, okay.
You will be sensing them a lot. You will feel, these are what things that happens, and you can say, okay, this happened to me or not.
I see.
You will feel sometimes certain objects are just missing, or you kept something like this, but the next day it is like this. Like even matter
Got moved.
got moved. His favorite thing. But every time you're trying to open or move the closet, you can't even move it. If you want to throw the closet, you can't even throw it. It's just stuck in the house.
I see.
So some of those things means that they are still around. They don't want you to let go. So I want to ask you this for my own sanity. When they passed away, did you do a proper funeral for them? A proper funeral or cremation for them?
We did just have a cremation. And his ashes is still at the funeral home. But we did not actually have a service, so to speak.
Okay, as long as you just get that out from the funeral home to where you need to do it,
Yeah.
and then get a pastor, do the ceremony. As long as it's out, because it should not be like in a physical location. Like it should not be in a house or a church or funeral home. You know why? Because ashes of a human body, of a spirit, can let the spirit come back into the earth again. It's supposed to just leave your sight. It should, because the fastest you can get those ashes out of your sight and out of that means you're letting the person go, right? And again, I want to reiterate that he's not stuck. If he was stuck, you would have felt his presence all the time.
I see.
And he would have came, you would have even heard him or sensed him or felt him or dreamt about him or something,
I see.
Because if they were stuck, you would sense them again and again and again.
I see.
And there are so many things that happen when those spirits are stuck. It's like a lot of negative things that happen in the house. Your house is clean energy since the first day I walked in. Like I said, depending on their karma, what kind of person were they? If they were, very good people, they are probably in a different dimension. And we also have to take into fact that everyone that gets born into this lifetime, they have to live through this lifetime, and depending on what their karma is, what have they done in this lifetime, will move them into the next dimension. So if their karma was amazing, it's probably in a better dimension. If their karma was not so good, if they were not good people, it's gonna go below.
He will see me next life.
Yes, you were talking about reincarnation. And you said, when will that happen? Okay? So just for your knowledge, and this is something that you should understand now, when you were born, at the time of your birth, your soul, I hope you know that you have a soul, right, within you.
Yes.
Right? And this is your body, right? So your soul had already planned for your life. So all the suffering you have had, your soul already decided it. But it decided it with your family. What I'm trying to say is, whoever was your mom and your dad and your brothers and sisters, all of you, it's called soul family. Okay? So soul families, which means all of your brother and sister, your family, you all are going to reincarnate again as family. That's the good news. If you are the daughter of your father and mother in this lifetime, in the next lifetime, you may be the father or the mother or the brother of your soul family. Which means only your relationship will change. Everything else will be the same. You will still be part of your family. Your brother may be your sister, and you may be your brother's brother. Make sense? Just the gender may change.
Right.
The relationship may change. But all of you are going to reincarnate together. Why? Because just like you had your own karma that you had to do for this lifetime, and all the sufferings you faced for this lifetime, you all have to face those similar sufferings in your own way together in a group. And all of you have already written down your entire life since you took birth. So your life was already planned out, and then your memory was erased, and then you were born. It will be a whole new life for you. You can remember your previous lifetime through meditation. You can. A lot of people, they remember it and they get hints of it, but they don't know, they're not sure. Sometimes they find out and they're sure. So what I'm saying is, your brother, he did pass away physically, but spiritually, he's still there. And you will still meet your brother again. In this lifetime or another lifetime. Let's say someone in your family gets pregnant, right? They can reincarnate again as your brother or your father, because all of you are going to come back together again. Why? Because you all have individual karma to fulfill and you all have family karma to fulfill.
This is like forever going on, or how does that work?
Honestly, sadly, yeah, forever, until we receive something called enlightenment. In English, it's called enlightenment. In Sanskrit, it's called moksha. Moksha means I'm never gonna come back as a human being again. Now I'm gonna go to another dimension. And the other dimension is being a heavenly being. A heavenly being have their own karmas to play. They have to look upon human beings on earth and help them when needed. Like, Jesus Christ and Buddha and so many saints and masters, They all look upon human beings. They help us whenever we need, because that's their karma. So when will you never come back again as human being? Once you work on all your karmas. And what are your karmas? Once you can get rid of anger and irritation and lust and greed and ego. The main thing is ego. Once we can get rid of all these 5 vices, we can become enlightened. That is one way. How will that happen? There are many ways it can happen. But from all the different paths, they all come to one path, and that's through meditation. Because all masters meditated and they all controlled their mind. When they controlled their mind and they completely purified their mind, they got rid of those 5 vices. When you get rid of those 5 things that you were born with as human beings, everyone is born with it. Once we get rid of them, we can enlighten. Until then, you will keep coming back again and again and suffer. So earth is a place to suffer, where we experience sadness and frustration and hatred and violence and, fighting all the time. That's because we're here to suffer. We have to learn how to transcend. So then you can become enlightened. And when you become enlightened, you don't come back again. Then you're disconnected from your soul family and from the soul karma. Attachment is also one of the vices. So if you're attached to things or money or people or husband, attached to it, you're holding on, you can't enlighten yourself. Then we don't reincarnate. Then we are done. Our job is done. Then we go to another dimension and we are joined with other beings that have all been enlightened. Then you have a different karma. And your karma may be to look upon human beings and help them on their journey. That's why so many gods and goddesses are prayed to, because they have already reached their stage. So we pray to them, please help us, when we have a problem. They come, they help us, and then they go back. And then they have all these beautiful teachings, like do this, do that, and we have to follow it. Once we follow, we can become like them. So basically becoming more like godlike. If you can become more godlike, every day you're enlightened. And it's a different feeling. So many enlightened masters have written this in books, in scriptures, what they feel within when they're enlightened. 1, they have a lot of love for everybody. They don't have any feeling of difference, like you're Asian, you're Indian, no, everyone's one. But their biggest thing that they feel is love for the planet and love for every human being, animal, plant. All sentient beings. And helping everybody. And not using anyone for their own good. It's just helping them selflessly. Like Mother Teresa. Like some of the qualities that some leaders had. When you have those qualities, you're very much closer to becoming enlightened. That's what I have read that they feel. And they feel a light within, is what I have read and studied, that they feel a light within. And whenever they see somebody, they see God in them.